everybody, it's Amanda Kate, part of your Lightworker support team, and this is the Q&A for May 2023. We are going to talk a little bit about telepathy procedures, starseeds, timelines, Bigfoot, Starforts. It's all going to be really interesting. So let's get started. I'm going to go get in state. You can take a deep breath with me. Get a little bit in state too if you want, and tap in yourself. And let's go find out about all these interesting things. Be right back. Okay, so our first question from Kristyn is, I have the belief that every human is a starseed since we all came from the stars and have higher dimensional aspects who did not originate on Earth. Maybe it's only if you have previously ascended and have experienced more than life on Earth that you're considered a starseed, and there are souls who only have had lives on Earth thus far. If this is true, what is the ratio of starseeds to humans? Okay, so I think we're wondering about like how many of us have already ascended somewhere else and we're just here to help versus, are there some who started here on Earth, which makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to figure out because I think if you're watching this, you probably identify as a starseed already. So like for me, I don't identify as a person who originated here, or a being who originated here. So yeah, let's go find out about that. I will ask. Okay, I'm not feeling very direct channel-y today. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm receiving. It comes into my mind. So I can either let it come through me without really thinking about it, or I can sort of put it into more, everyday terms. And I feel like putting it more into everyday terms right now. So it feels like, and what they said was, there are only, this is an Earth, this is a place where beings come to evolve from the start. So there are only enough starseeds here to help with the ascension of the planet. If the planet gets stuck in a certain level, like they can't make it past this certain level, then, starseeds come in, we bring our energy, and that automatically sort of lifts the energy of the planet, and so it's easier for them, the Earth beings who started here, to come up to that level. It's like it's like tuning forks. We're setting the tone so that they can match it. Okay, so what's the ratio? I think they're saying it varies. What is it right now? I feel like they're saying it can fluctuate from between 20 to 23% starseeds right now. So there's that. Like, what else? I feel like there's something else I wanted to ask. Nope. I guess that was it for that one. Okay. Another question from Kristyn. Is there only one main timeline and trajectory the whole of the population is on currently, or are there choices being made to determine the timeline you'll be on? If there are multiple, how many are there, and does this mean only some people will for sure be ascending in this lifetime? I think it's pretty definite that only some people will be ascending in this lifetime. But let me go back. Is there only one main timeline of the whole population? If we're talking about the timeline for Ascension, then yes. I mean, the whole collective is trying to ascend. I mean, that's the whole like learning through cycles thing. But let me see what they say. Okay, they're saying there's only one main probability at any given point in time, and that's based on the collective of Earth, the collective energy. And by collective of Earth, I mean the beings who are ascending on Earth, and like their higher selves, not their Earth selves. So their higher selves and their guides and starseeds and their guides, like as a collective on a higher level, we all decide like what we want to do. And that can change depending on how it's going. So, like if we thought something was going to work out really well and it turned out that like our human selves aren't on the same page as what we wanted to do, then like maybe they'd tweak it a little, and maybe like the timeline would alter a little bit. But I think for the most part, like yeah, timeline Ascension, depending, fast or slow depending on how we do with whatever challenges we decide that we need to face and overcome or not. Let me ask, because I'm thinking about the raw material and their levels for ascension and all that. So let me see what they have to say about who ascends and who doesn't. I feel like right now there's a harvest, what they're calling a harvest, which means this lifetime now, this time period now, is for moving up into the next density, which would be incorporating more. I think it means incorporating more of your higher self and the things that your higher self can do, which we can't or haven't been able to do here. I have other questions around that, but I'm not going to ask them this time. Okay, if there are multiple, there aren't multiple timelines for ascension, but like some people could ascend more quickly. It just depends on how dedicated you are, I guess, where you are in your learning path. I mean, because some people can have 60 lives and be like, they are rocking it and they're done. They're already through ascension because they're just that good at coming in and doing the life and learning the lesson and then moving on. But then there are some who are like, I'm on my 5th time trying to learn this lesson about despair or whatever, and they can't do it. So they're just like, dang it, I cannot figure this out. So, it might take you longer to do some things. There's nothing wrong with that. We have all of eternity. We have infinity to figure it out. So, no biggie. All right, let's move on to the Bigfoot question. And Rosemary, I think did you delete your question? Because I went back to find it. I had already copied it. So I'm sorry if you already have the answer to this. I'm going to answer it again. Okay, there's a channel where he's talking about a tree portal. Okay, are they Sasquatch? Who or what are the faces in this portal? Are they Sasquatch? Can trees be portals to other dimensions? And is this where the idea of totem poles comes from? This is an interesting question to me. All right. Yeah, are they related? So, all right, what is this portal thing with the faces in it? Let's check on that first. Well, they're telling me portals are everywhere. It doesn't have to be through trees. So I'm asking if the totem pole idea came from seeing things in portals and trees. They're also agreeing that it is an interesting concept, but they're saying no, totem poles are stories, just like writing. Like we write letters, well, in English, left to right, and we write words left to right. They tell their stories, I want to say from top to bottom, but I don't really know. So it's just kind of like, what's a way to tell their stories? It's not because they saw the faces in the portals or anything. Oh, who are the faces in the portals? It could be anybody. It could be anything. Could be from higher dimensions or alternate dimensions. They're saying there are a lot of ways to get in here. You can get in through consciousness, which is essentially what they're doing now with me. Like, I guess that makes me a portal because I'm open to it, like I'm receiving. But I also feel like there are, I don't want to say physical portals, but like they're not mental portals. They're like you could see, a being walk through nothing or just appear out of nothing. So that would be considered a portal. Kind of like ghosts, I guess, Sometimes they're just there and then they just disappear. So, okay, well, they're telling me that's a different concept to do with time and space, but I think the way we're thinking of portals now, yeah, it could be any type of being can come through a physical portal at any time, anywhere. All right. Wow, I am cruising through these. It's been like 15 minutes. And I haven't asked my telepathy question yet. All right. It's not even that big of a question, but okay. Let's ask about the Starforts. Rosemary wants to know specifically, for example, in New Madison, including apparently Starfort shapes of continents being discovered on Google Earth. Starforts. What are these Starfort things? And I've seen the videos she's talking about. It's like fort shapes. Like you can see like earthworks that are fort shaped. I kind of wonder if they're Native American, but let's ask. All right, I'm going to direct channel this because I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Dear ones, these objects are extra dimensional objects. They are there for the purpose of creating interest in things other than that which you can know with your science or your observations. These are not things that were a part of ancient civilizations. These are not necessarily created by what you would call ETs. These are objects agreed upon by the Earth Collective, as we said, to create interest in that which you cannot explain. This opens the door for more study and changing the way the collective views their world. In other words, it creates a more open mind. And this is necessary for the direction the Earth Collective has intended to go at this time. Okay, so it seems like what they're saying is, we just put that there to make people go, what the heck is that? Let's investigate that. And while we're at it, let's ask some questions about the universe and our lives and what everything means. Like, that's pretty cool. But you know what else would be cool? UFOs. More UFOs. Aliens landing right here in front of people. That would be awesome. Hint, hint. Okay. The Aurora Borealis lights were seen in places around the world where usually they're not seen due to severe geomagnetic storms. People are saying these are frequencies assisting us through the shifts, or are they simply cause and effect from solar activity? Obviously they're cause and effect from solar activity because we can measure that. But I also think that, and this is just me, I haven't, not asking them yet, but I will. But I think every energy that comes to the planet that affects us is for a reason. Like, I don't feel like, we have free choice, but I feel like on a higher level, we sort of orchestrate this tapestry of events and happenings and the whole long ascension process from start to finish. So I think it's both, but let me see what they say. Yeah, okay, so they're saying, it's like they're saying our whole galaxy is actually moving through space. And as we enter different energies in space, they're going to affect the planets in our solar system. And it's all sort of planned, not sort of planned, it's all planned in this really grand scheme of everything. It's the tapestry I've been talking about, only it's like the tapestry of everything. And so as we, as planned, we're moving into this area of space, and it's going to affect our planets, and we're one of them. So, but it's all on purpose. It's all activating different things for us as part of our whole process of ascension and our evolution. Wow. Okay. All right. So now, finally, the telepathy question. So I want telepathy right now here for the whole planet. It just wouldn't it make things so much easier if you knew people's intent. And I'm not talking about just like, a lot of people when they think of telepathy, it's just like, I'm going to close my eyes and think these words, go to the store, and, whoever will receive the words, go to the store. But that's not how it is. Telepathy is like intentions, thoughts, emotions, and words, pictures. It's everything. It's like, it's holistic. It's this whole big blob of, a whole block of a concept all at once. So, I want that to start, because I feel like if you walk up to somebody, you could know what kind of a person they are, what they've done with their life, what their challenges have been. And if they ask something of you, you would know what their intentions are. There would be no hiding ill intention. You just couldn't do it because you'd know immediately, because we're all telepathic. And I know we're heading that direction, but like, I just want to set the pattern for it by starting something somehow. So my friend Rebecca and I are going to practice telepathy, and they gave me, like, this is this is baby step one. We're both to put an object in a box, and the other person has to, we have to guess what's in the other person's. And it can't be a personal item because we already know each other too well. It has to be like a random, simple object. So, but the question then for us was like, do we like remote view the object, or do we like tap into the other person's like mind? And do we need to like sit and think about the object and like intend to send it to them? Like, how does that work? So I want to ask that right now. And so if anybody wants to start telepathy project, Telepathy 101, you could try this too. So let's find out like how we're supposed to get the information about the object to the other person, or how we're supposed to receive it from the other person. Okay, so this is really complex, as expected. So, all right, there are multiple ways you can approach this. So one would be using an intermediary, which is your higher self or your guides. So you would really connect to them, they would connect to the person, get the object for you, and tell you what it is. But to me, that doesn't feel like learning telepathy here on a physical level. So then they showed me, well, you can just, you have the ability to connect to all of everything. So you could just like go into meditation and look inside the box and see what it is. Also not really telepathy. So that feels like cheating to me. So then they said you can view the person putting the object in the box. Also didn't seem like telepathy. But you can tap into the thoughts of the person as they're putting the item in the box and look through their eyes and see what they're putting in it. So it's kind of getting closer. But then I was thinking, humans are so complex. Like I can put an item in a box and be thinking about my grocery shopping list. So if she's going to try to tap into what I'm thinking as I'm putting the object in the box, unless I planned it ahead of time to be like, this is the object I'm putting in the box, I could be thinking about anything. So that also won't work. So I think what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to sit down for at least a minute or two, think about the object that we put in the box, and then the other person will tap into that time that we sat down to think about what we put in the box. Like, there has to be like a mental connection. It doesn't have to be a time thing. You could try, like, I know I've done this before where the two people are there and at the same time one thinks of something and the other person guesses, or vice versa. So, I mean, that's a thing. But also, it's not really required because, I mean, time and space, I think, don't matter. I think it's funny because once I was riding in a car, we were traveling somewhere, and I was channeling for everybody in the car, and somebody commented on, like, how can you channel? We're moving. And I'm like, I guess it has nothing to do with space, and I don't think it has to do with time either. So space and time, irrelevant. So I think if we just set any time aside to think of the object in the box, the other person can tap into that. Just set the intention. I'm going to tap into that time when you were thinking about, what you put in the box. All right. So Rebecca, if you're watching, that's what we're going to do. I will sit, first I got to find a box, and then I got to find an object, and then I'll sit down and think about the object. Okay. All right. That's all for today. If you have a question that you would like a channeled answer to, if it's a private question you would like a channeled answer to, then go to my website at amandaschertzer.com and we can do a session. But if you have a general question, you can go to my community tab. in YouTube. I always want to say on Facebook. There's no community tab on Facebook, but it's in YouTube, my community tab. I post a call for questions for each month. Or if you're a Patreon patron, I'm going to start releasing these a week ahead for my Patreon patrons as a benefit. And then after they get a chance to see it first, then I'll release it on YouTube. So, all right, that's it. Patreon or YouTube community tab. That's it. Hope everybody's doing well. I know the energy's kind of crazy right now. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling the crazy energy or if you're just absolutely fine. I'm feeling a little, I'm a little unfocused today. Can you tell? I don't know. How are you guys doing? Let me know. And I'll see you next time. Much love.